it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are zooming in and focusing in on really an important topic, and that is in understanding a narcissist or a psychopathic individual and really their approach to manipulating or controlling others, and really how to deal with it, how to cope, how to manage, how to get a life hack into dealing with these controlling people. As we know through the channel, a narcissist is an individual who presents with an inflated sense of self-esteem, coupled with kind of a bigger-than-life power sort of approach, domineering approach, taking over approach, bigger-than-life approach. They seem to have a very big ego, yet they're coupled with a lack of empathy. So there's a real disconnect according, based on their charm, their inflated sense of self-importance, their ego, and really how they feel inside and how they feel about others. So this creates a whole host of issues. For the narcissist who has an insatiable need to control and have power, they don't reflect and see that they have done anything wrong. They just feel that they're on their ascension. Whether it's the rock star who wants to have, a record deal, whether it's, the CEO who wants to take on a monopoly, whether it's the doctor who always wants to be right and is very sort of rigid in their diagnosis and isn't open to other integrative medicines, whether it's the lawyer who is always battling others and, treats even his family members as his constituents, or even the people in the neighborhood as basically like judge and jury, even though they're just normal everyday people. The narcissist has an inflated sense of self-importance and an insatiable need to have power and control over others. And really, how do you deal with this? A narcissist can also be, as we get more severe into the spectrum, into psychopathic, where these people will manipulate without conscience. They will engage in pathological lying just to get their way, to get whatever it is that they need, to get whatever it is that they want. And this essentially means power and control over others, whether it's control over reaction, the way that they interact with their facade. They like to be able to manipulate and sort of take over their emotional centers, to be very lured in or attracted or seduced by them, overtly attractive, engaging in pathological lying, breaking of laws, breaking of social norms, breaking a violation of boundaries of others, whether it's verbal, physical, sexual, financial. They're very hurtful, and they can do this on a large scale. And so really when we talk about how to deal with these people, well, number one, of course, if it's causing you a lot of harm and unhappiness, it's to go no contact, it's to get away. And if you have, you've never been in this position before in your life, then you have never been in this position before in your life. And if you're saying, I don't know what to do, it's because you don't know what to do. You're so used to and habituated to being at the control and at the mercy of this individual that you haven't exercised your freedom and the ability to think and feel and behave for yourself. It feels wrong. It contradicts your struggle. It contradicts the role that they have for you in your life. So it feels uneasy. You feel like a beginner. You feel like a starter. You feel like this is life 101. You feel like you don't know where to go. You don't know how to stop the bleeding, so to speak. So number one, if you're with a controlling person, don't try to continue to people please them. If this has been your natural, role where it's, you've gotten by so far, then you need to stop. You need to stop trying to impress them, to please them, to get a smile for them, to get the approval from them, to get the good job from them. You need to stop that drive in your life, because what you're doing is kind of like you're taking a detour. Your life path is supposed to be on track here, and you're taking a detour over here. Please this person, check in with them, sacrifice what you need to do, sacrifice your freedom, check in with them, see how they're doing, be there as a, a welcome mat, a doormat for them, get walked over, go ahead, and so your life habitually takes that turn, and then you find a lot of your energy and time, finances, thoughts, planning, gifts tend to always go over there, and you become, in a very condition-based relationship, a very controlled relationship where your love is based on conditions, versus unconditional. In other words, this person just doesn't love you freely. You always feel like you owe them something. You owe them this, you owe them that. It's based on conditions. So don't try to impress them. Don't try to be happy, in order to, that high energy that you might have, or your true happiness. You can't really live in that energetic space with these people. You need to kind of lower your tone and like match their controlling behavior, and just, go along with, if you have to be in a relationship with them, you're going to have to give in and say, oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll write that down. I'll check this out. I'll go and do that. And then, follow along suit. But, no, you have to embrace your truth, because oftentimes this person will thrive on controlling you, and thrive and have a kind of a calculated sort of projection where they want you to fall and stumble, and then they will be the ones to pick you up. So it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy where they're able to control you. And it becomes then, the aftermath tends to ripple in your life, where then you internalize, and through osmosis or through absorption, you then begin to have this dysfunction in your life, where you then try to always control the outcome of things in your life, or really the opposite, where you become completely irresponsible, completely problematic. You have a lot of issues in your life. You overdrink, you overspend, you neglect your health. You're not happy with how you're behaving for yourself. You're like, this is not me. I'm making a mess out of myself in my life, and this is not leading me to the land of promise. This is not easy street where I want to live. This is completely the opposite. And you'll know if your life has taken a wrong turn or a trajectory, because you'll be feeling these things. So begin to stop and cease doing this people pleasing and kind of, this happy, energy around them. Begin to lower that. Become, more indifferent, more passive. Don't feed into the abuse, because you need to bring that energy back to yourself and really conserve your energy and protect yourself. And furthermore, begin to look ahead towards your future, and controlling, or at least giving energy and focus to that, because that's where you need to invest your time. Your energy is in that direction, versus always trying to take a detour and being habituated to a lifestyle where you're constantly taken advantage of, or in a role where you are controlled and really kind of lied to, berated, and shamed from a narcissistic or psychopathic abuser, someone who loves conditionally rather than unconditionally. Take the high road and see if you can incorporate that more frequently, and then the people who are on that road a little bit more frequently, and see if you can then begin to validate yourself little by little. You'll learn that mechanism of self-validation and self-care, and it'll become a state of knowing versus uncertainty. It's peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.